We're glad that you're on today. If you're listening or watching, we're grateful for that. And we think you're going to find something really different today of someone that's been with me and that had been with me last time that I had a podcast called Sunday Conversations. And now it's Sunday Reflections. And I've been thinking about this all along, that the reflections are something that we all can deal with. But today we have we have a person who is a founder of an organization, which we'll go to in just a minute. But right now, Ed Perez, it's great to see you again.
It's good to see you, my
Yes, sir.
friend.
Yeah, you too. And
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming, because
Absolutely.
I know really how much this is, and we're going to be able to talk a little bit about where you are and what's going on and what's happened since we last met.
Yep, a lot.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to find out. That's what we're going to find out. And we're going to be able to find out for you all why this is such an important day today for the 3 grains of rice. And so what we'll do is start with a little bit so that you get a good sense about what's going on. Is Ed, I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about 3 grains of rice. Some people have not heard of it yet.
Okay.
But give a short area here where they can understand it and do it, and you can look at the place directly to them, and that would be great for them to understand what 3 grains of rice means to you.
Absolutely. So 3 grains of rice was started almost 9.5 years ago. Since then, we have upgraded 28 homes for single moms, built 7 apartments, upgraded Hogar Crea, which is a recovery center, also upgrade Trinity Rescue Mission, 28 homes, all with volunteers. And that shows the power of volunteerism, because we believe that the power in our faith is in going in the mission field. And the mission field is where we are right here and now, wherever we are, whether or not we're at the store or not, and we can make a difference. We are also providing groceries last month to over 6,500 individuals. And it's just a blessing to do so. We have been working in a number of countries. 90% of what we do is in Northeast Florida, but we also work in Cuba, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, and in Colombia. So we are blessed to continue to do what we're doing. We have clocked over 50,000 volunteer hours. And it's just a blessing that God has allowed us to be able to do what we're doing. It just sometimes I wake up and I can't believe it, that I have such an honor to be able to do what we do. But God's good, and any growth that we've had, glory goes to Him.
Well, and I appreciate that, and I remembered back about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago now, that when we spoke, I remember that I could have thought about a grain of sand, and that's in the Bible pretty well.
Right.
And when you now look at 3 grains of rice, I remember what you said, and I thought this is really the most significant part, and that is, it only takes 3 grains of rice to get the food started.
Right.
And the food will go everywhere. And that's true with us. That's true with us as individuals. All we need to do is get one person to be able to do something, and they can make a difference in your neighborhood, in your friendship, in your people, and you might be that person. So I'm here today to talk a little bit more about what you're doing. And I know that from time to time I've asked you to speak some of this in Spanish as well as in English.
Absolutely.
So you'll do the English first and then do the Spanish whenever you do it,
Okay.
so that people who hear you will understand the nature of what you've done. And so I know this just from today. I know that there's you have different women, students, and people that are there with the 3 grains of rice and so forth. And I think you'll see that as you look at these photos that you've given, the 3 grains of rice, where you have these ones that are wearing red clothing and all of that, it's so amazing. And then we'll talk about all the others that are happening, including the last week where you had people from Louisiana.
Right.
So we're going to talk about all that, but I think there's some of the photos that'll work on this. It'll help you all get a better understanding of this. So there's the one of the ladies with, and one's there. There it is, right there, and you can see it. It's the 3 grains of rice,
And
there-
all of them have come from the Hindu community. So,
Yeah.
all of those.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's amazing. So we know that is part of that. And then I saw there were some other people that were also there. There's another group. So tell me what they were doing.
So these young ladies are part of a school group, and they were looking to volunteer. Actually, they came about 2 years ago, and now every, I don't know, 3 months or 4, they come in and they help us put together groceries so that we can distribute it. So look how young they are.
Yeah.
And it shows you your age has nothing to do with your ability to impact individuals.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you, because I remember that you had worked at CSX, the railroad company, and you did it and you retired from there.
Right.
And after you retired, how did you happen to get involved with 3 Grains of Rice?
So one of my dreams was always to impact society, because I came, as you remember, I came from Cuba. Right, I lived in Cuba. I lived through the war. It was not unusual for us to experience bombardments, grenades, machine guns, and so forth going in, and or to see people that have passed away as a result of it, and all of that impacts you, especially as a young boy coming through there. So from there, I came to the U.S. We came here, unable to speak the language. Ended up in the ghettos of Baltimore. Was suffering from PTSD. At that point, they had no idea what PTSD was.
Sure.
All they knew was that there was a young man that was frustrated and angry about life, and they did not know what it did. But my life was touched by a coach. It was touched by an elderly lady that convinced me to go to college when I had no idea what I was going to do. So my life is what it is today through the grace of Jesus Christ, but it is what it is today because individuals came into my life that guided me. And that's the impact that every one of us has. Any one of us can touch the heart and the lives of our folks next to us. It could be a young person, it could be an elderly person, but that's the power we all have.
Well, it's the power of God.
It is.
Yeah, so that's great. So now what you did from the last time we came, you started talking about that early on here, and we'll get a little bit into that because I never saw all the things that you've been doing since then, and it seems like it grew. Tell me this. I think you have a lot of corporate supporters now.
We have a number of folks. For instance, ViStar donated a branch to us, and now our branch, our facility, we are in the #1 drug area, #2 crime area. We have the second highest level of overdose. So God has placed us in the war zone, which is what we need to do and be able to do that. Along with that, we have multiple corporations that are actually coming into Jacksonville to be able to enhance the well-being of our community, but also it allows us to be able to touch our heart, to talk about our faith, to talk about what they're able, and to train them and educate them into going back in their community and do what we're doing. They do not have to call it 3 Grains at all. They just have to go ahead and listen to God and do what they need to do. So
Well,
bless.
Well, and I know that you've told me this too, as we were discussing this before we came in, that some of these large corporations now are supporting you and doing certain things, including helping you get a building,
Right.
helping you with other things. Tell us a little bit about that too.
So we have now corporations coming into, as I say, into the Jacksonville area, not only to financially support us, but also the manpower. So next year, we already have 9 groups coming in. That's around 100 folks committed to come into Jacksonville.
Tell us what that means. Tell us what that means of them coming in here and how they're doing that and why those employees are wanting to be here with you.
So they're coming from Canada to any place in the U.S., the corporations actually pay their way to come and get involved, not only to help us, but what they have found, what we have found, when you embrace a corporation, embrace social responsibility, their employees change, their customer service improve, their retention improve, because now they see that this corporation is just not a bricks and mortar. It is now, it has a soul to care. So we this year we're probably going to have by year end about 200, 250 in mission, what we call missionaries coming through from multiple organizations. They come in, we share God's faith, we put them to work in our community. They actually work hand on hand with the folks that we work with in our community. This past group that just left Saturday, we hit the streets at Duval, and we went and met with individuals living in right there by the sidewalk, and be able to care and pray for them and so forth. But it is an impact to our ministry. It's an impact to our community, and as important, it's an impact in the well-being of those corporations.
Well, that's terrific. And so those corporations are now having, I heard you say you had some problems with air conditioning, you had
Yep.
problems with the roof.
Yep.
And how did all that work out?
So God is so good. It is just, and that's one of one of the things about being in the mission field is you see miracles every day. Because we received the building as a donation, and I went to get insurance, and they said, "I'm sorry, we cannot insure you because of the roof, the quality of the roof." So I'm sitting there saying, "Oh Lord, have mercy." $15,000-$20,000 worth of expense, and individuals and people in our community found out about, and they stood up to the plate to do. We had about a couple of months ago, we have both of our air conditioners die within a matter of a week, and it was 90-some degrees, and our volunteers are not very happy with it. And what happened? A corporation came up and stood up and helped us out. But along with that, Rick, we live in a world of abundance. So we have, so we asked the question, what do you do with your extra items? And as a result of that, we are getting food, and we're getting clothing, and we're getting numerous donations, including 1.45 wheelchairs that were excess. And rather than throw it away, we're able to put it to use. The same thing with bikes. We currently have about 20 additional bikes that are needed, but we're leveraging those for people to go to work because the transportation is difficult. We're able to find jobs for folks, but transportation is a key component to it. And so folks are coming up and touching hearts. The bike is not just a bike. What the bike is a path to be able to work. It's a path to be able for self-sufficiency. Because one of the things we do not want organizations, we do not want individuals dependent upon us. What we want them to do is to experience the freedom, not only financial, but also the freedom that comes with knowing Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, that's good. Are you working at all with any of the churches, either here in St. Johns County or in Duval County, and places that you come to in other countries as well? Do you work with some of the churches as well?
There are a number of churches locally that we have worked and support. They do food drive for us. Or clothing drives come through. So we are working with a number of churches. Internationally, in Cuba, we work with an area called Diez Caballos, which translates to 10 horses. It's a very, very poor area. One of the things, Rick, that we do, you may remember, is we leverage sports.
But that was because of you.
Yep.
That was because
that was
sports made a difference to you.
Yep.
So yes, but go ahead and explain that a little bit to them. And also, you don't hesitate to speak in Spanish too after you've spoken in English, so that they see what you're talking about. And those that are out there that are listening to you today to know where they could go to be of help with the 3 grains of rice.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, sir. So, it is soccer was my salvation through sports. So we have in Diez Caballos we have extracted 140 gang members. Así que hemos sacado 140 muchachos que estaban en guerrilla y lo hemos hecho para usando el fútbol, porque eso lo atraen, ellos vienen, ellos oyen y entonces actúan. So, a lot of the folks is but sports allowed us to attract the young people. It allows us to win their trust, to teach discipline. And once you have discipline and trust, then they're able to listen and be able to do so. Así que, pero ese es el poder que todos podemos tener, ¿verdad? Es una cosa que podemos atraer y ayudar y trabajar con muchas personas y cambiar las vidas de ellas. Y es una cosa que si tienen fútbol que no saben lo que van a hacer, nosotros la podemos usar. So saying, and not only that, if you're in a position that you're part of a team and or you have children that have been part of a soccer team or basketball, and you have equipment or you have clothing, often when the season is over, folks says, what am I going to do with it? And let's not throw it away.
Right.
We can put it to use because those items is what we leveraged to do so. In Colombia, we have 4 soccer divisions playing out of Cali, Colombia. They get us to Cali, Colombia. And it's the same situation. We're extracting them from there. One of those teams was invited last year when Madrid went to play the national team, was invited during halftime to play. Just think about this. These kids are in the ghettos, in one of the worst places there, and now they're in worldwide television. Pero mira lo que estaba diciendo aquí también, que en Colombia tenemos 4 divisiones de fútbol que están trabajando, y una de ellas fue invitado a jugar en el medio cuando el partido estaba en part-time ahí, y pudieron jugar allá. Y pone a pensar eso, a jugar, y el mundo entero lo están mirando, y estos muchachos viven en los guetos de allá, y lo que es eso. Pero ese es el cambio que podemos tener, and that's the impact that we all can have. We can have an impact on individuals. So anything in life can be leveraged as a tool to change a person's life.
Well, and again, we've talked a little bit about you and how that happened in your life, because I know that I have some friends that came in from Cuba. They were called what was the name of when the children came? They had a whole name that they had to have that was part of that. Okay, there was a name that they had to do it. It was I forgot it.
Yeah,
unfortunately, yeah, I did. It's not there.
It's tough getting older.
I know. It's a long time ago too. So, but you find so many things, and I know about this as well. And I'll tell you this: and when you go to different countries, it's like going from Florida to Boston. We got different words. You got different words. You got different ways of cooking. You have different ways of eating. And then you can go on to another place and you'll find something else. And when you find out that you're in a place, you find out that everybody is the same person. They are never a different person. They just have their own views of what they have done as they have grown up. And many of them who have been under communism and stuff has been horrible because they made it. But I remember when I went to Ukraine, and I've said this before on this show and the others as well, that they always were like what Paul did and what Peter did afterwards when they would go into these different places, and all they could find was people dying to see them, to be able to get that spiritual food that was necessary to them and that made them all that way. And so when you go to one country or one city or one state and you go to each other, there's other things that are there. You have to have the opportunity to share your love with them.
Absolutely.
And then once you do that, you love your neighbor as yourself. And that
Absolutely.
becomes the way that it always works. And it's just so important to understand what you're doing and helping others with both food and housing and all of the other stuff that's going on and how it's growing since I've last talked to you. And it seems that God has led you on the way. Well, there's some other photos that I wanted the folks to see, including when you had people there, and you'll help to describe it for me when you see them standing in line and getting food and doing all of that. So we'll look at the ones that's on right now. Tell me a little bit about that.
So as you can see, the building in the rear, that is our facility. We're at 3040 Edison Avenue. 3040 is the number one drug area, number two crime area. We have the second overdose numbers in North Florida. And I shared that with you because we are where God wants us to be. God wants us to be in the battleground, and there we are. What we were doing there is distributing food. We distribute food on Mondays and Thursdays from 9:15 to 12:30, 1 o'clock. I was telling Rick that last month we provided groceries in total to 6,500 individuals.
Right.
The numbers we're seeing continue to increase because we're seeing more and more single mom become homeless. They're becoming homeless because the rents are going up between 25 and 45% on their anniversary. So, often we see them and they're standing there, they're crying and asking, how can this happen? I mean, all I do is work, take care of my children. So we are there, so our numbers are increasing, and also the elderly. So we have right now 3,500 families in our database. 30% of those are elderly. Right. That are struggling not only with food, but only with loneliness. And they have no one. It's tough.
Well, tell me from January till now, how many people have you worked with?
So this year, our statistics tells us we have provided groceries to over 50,000 people.
Wow.
I mean, but that is something that we can do with that help from our neighbors. And sometimes it could be a box of canned goods. It could be items from your pantry. But everybody can make a difference. Así que este año solamente hemos dado ya comida a más de 50,000 personas. Es una oportunidad, pero también no lo podemos hacer sin su ayuda, sin la ayuda de cada una de las personas que pueden donar una cajita de comida o una forma cualquiera que lo pueda hacer.
Well, and then I saw some other people standing in line or doing some things there too that perhaps that was something in a different location. So maybe we can take a look at that too when we get a chance, and we'll see how that plays out as well, because I see them in this area. Is this right still near your building?
It is. So part of what we have, Rick, is we also have partnership with there are now 44 other organizations we partner with, locally and internationally. So when they have access, they share with us. When we have access, we share with them. Or they can come to our facility and provide medical assistance, medical support, clothing through it all. And, that was just one of those partners that came in that we're working with.
Are you doing any work with the safety people, the sheriff, and all of those people that are needing help that are there? Do you share those things of what you're doing so that they know how it is to have policemen coming and things like that?
Actually, we were blessed to have the Duval sheriff come in. He came and actually spoke to the community. And it is so important because there's often lack of trust. Right. And having him come in and address questions to those individuals is a win-win for everyone, for them, for the society, for everyone. And he has been there. We have been fortunate from time to time. We have JSO come in, and we invite him over for a cup of coffee or just to visit and get to know our volunteers and everybody else.
Well, I know that we have some people here in St. Augustine that are also helping you and helping you in different ways. Sid Ansbacher, a lawyer here in town, is one that first introduced me to you, and I know that he has been very active as well for our West Jacksonville, and when we have West Jacksonville going, there's people there that are doing the same, and we're doing so much here too. But again, I don't know if there's been a connection yet that you've had with West Jacksonville yet. But I think it would be helpful here for that too, to help, because they're all together. We're
Yep.
we're one people. We're
Yep.
one people. We're not
One
two people.
family.
One family.
Yep.
One family. So I don't know if you've had that opportunity yet, but that would be something really good to do. And Sid can kind of discuss that with you, and
Okay.
certainly me too. But I think that would be helpful too, to see the same things that are going, because they have people here that need the same things that we have, and we have a lot of organizations here in St. Johns County. So we've been very blessed. We've had people for the helping women that are individually with small children that don't have a place to live.
Yep.
We have those that are looking for more things that are helping them in various places. We have people that are, we have so many also terrific nonprofits here in St. Johns County. It's a place where God is.
Yep.
And as you know, wherever God is, there's also someone there on the other side.
Absolutely.
And so we know that we're fighting that same battle between heaven and earth, but in terms of God and the false prophet.
Yep.
That's the one, the false God. The false God and God are always in a fight because he happened to be a fallen angel.
Absolutely. And as you know, Rick, we've worked with St. John's Homeless Coalition for a number of years. We've upgraded 28 homes for them with our volunteers. So there's need all the way across. The other area that I think I wanted to point out is the educational component. So the question for us, we simply do not want to give out food. That is a tactical area, but strategically, how do we empower individuals to be able to take care of themselves? So one of the key area is financial literacy. There is such a need to educate our young people, and not only a great deal of single moms. They just struggle with it. The other one is what I call life management. Very often they have difficulties be able to see beyond today. They have difficulties trying to create a vision, and then how to set up basically a plan, a project plan. Well, how do I go from here to there? How do I pay for it? Where I can get help, and set up a strategic component. There is need for that level of education. A lot of young people that are having children are children themselves. How do we train them to go ahead and modify? And then the other component to it is that our faith is key to it, is forgiveness. We have a great deal of young ladies and older ladies that have been abused as a child, and sometimes very difficult for them to forgive themselves, even though they were children. They do not understand that they were a child, that it wasn't their fault. Somebody else may have tried to do it. Pero una de las cosas que estamos hablando aquí también es que trabajamos con muchos grupos que requieren educación para enseñar cómo manejar los dineros, cómo ser un padre y una madre mucho mejor, cómo tener una visión y ponerla a trabajar para cambiar su vida. Todo eso es importante. Y es una cosa que estamos trabajando, y si ustedes tienen la educación en eso y nos puede ayudar, sería una cosa buena. So, those areas are key. So if there's some folks there that have a passion for those specific training areas, and they have the time to do it, we would love to put them to work.
Well, and there's a lot, like I said, I think that what we have here is what you have also in places that you've been.
Yep.
And that is joining with each other.
Yep.
Because there is only one thing to do it, and there's things that you do versus things that others don't do,
right,
and vice versa.
Right.
And so what you want to do is to be able to get together and make this community a much better community for all of us. We really care about that. We care about where we are in St. Johns County. We have really the fantastic school system here. We have colleges that are here, and both Flagler and others, and we are in a place right now that it is so we're growing so fast. That's another part of what Florida is doing, and we're in that place right now of a fast growing system. But you know what? People come from other states and other cities here in Florida. They come here to St. Augustine, and they come to St. Johns County, and so we know that when you come here, you need to join these other organizations. You need to participate. You need to be able to get that in your part of your life so that your life becomes even better than it was before. And that's what you've just been hearing. You're hearing about how corporations are keeping employees better by having them doing things for the people here in the community. And so we care about that, and we want to continue to do that. And that's one of the reasons that you're here today, is because we want to make that happen to where everybody has the same rights and ability to do the things that need to be done.
It is, we believe that it is each and every one of us, our responsibility to care for one another. It is not a political, it is not the government, it is our responsibility. And what we have found, Ricky, is when we give of ourselves, we think we're there to help somebody else, but the individual that gets helped the most is ourselves.
Yeah.
One area that I just want to point out also, a great deal of our people that volunteer, some of them are young, some are in school, some are actively working. But we also have a large number of individuals that have been retired. And they were retired, they didn't know what to do with themselves, they're just staying home. And now we're upgrading houses, and we are building, and we're unloading trucks, and we're driving trucks, and all those things. So their life, their health is much better because now they have a purpose, they have a mission, and when they see the need and they're able to get involved, when they're able to embrace the needs, it's not somebody else's responsibility. It is not thinking, well, it's the government's responsibility. No, it's our responsibility, because that's what Christ has done. I mean, where do you find Christ? You would have found Christ where there is a need, and that's what we need to do. It's such a transformation that we have seen in people's lives. Y una cosa que estamos hablando aquí también, muchas personas que se han retirado, y se retiran y no saben lo que van a hacer, se retiran y se quedan en la casa, se retiran y están empezando en dónde van a vivir, si van a vivir más, si se van a enfermar. Pero cuando ellos vienen aquí y empiezan a trabajar con nosotros y empiezan a dar de su amor, de su vida, a trabajar y ayudar a otra persona, la vida de ellos cambian y el pensamiento de ellos cambia. Así que si usted está retirado y no sabe lo que hacer con su tiempo, venga para acá y llame y ayuda a nosotros. So what I'm saying, part of the message of this is that about the retirees. And I say, if you're retired, you don't know what to do with yourself. If you have extra time, whether you have the skills or not, come on over. We're going to put you to work, and I guarantee you your life will be enhanced because of it.
Well, and that's true with all of our others. And when you came up with the idea, and that I think is very significant to what I did this morning, and that is the purpose that we're here.
Yep.
What is our purpose of being here on earth? What is our purpose? Yep. Okay, so I did one poem that's called Mission Accomplished. Seems like that's a pretty good number. Yep. That's the way that it is. I'm looking for the mission to be accomplished. You could be doing work at home or at your office or at someone else's house or wherever and whatever. That's your mission. So, but you could do the work for God by letting others know the purpose why you were created and living on earth. Your willingness fulfills your destiny when you love your neighbor as you love yourself. you know that the gift of love comes directly from heaven. No matter where God takes you on his path, you will be with God and the Spirit that guides you through the wilderness and beyond. There are many ways to accomplish your mission without leaving your home or going to places far away, and certainly with Emmanuel, who is always with you. God wants you to feed his sheep with spiritual food, together with loaves of bread or grains of rice, as he takes you to meet those in need. But your mission will fill your heart and soul with love and peace by seeing the smiles and their happiness. It's your mission that makes the difference between a life worth living or only thinking about yourself. By knowing what you say and do willingly make this world a better place, together helping the mission accomplished. And that's where we are.
Awesome.
That's where we are. That's the way that it is, and so forth. So when I started this morning, I made a mistake, and I'm going to stop at this mistake and make it even better than it was before. I got too far in, and I didn't talk about the Shee family and the DJ Clam Shacks, and I apologize for not starting because it should have started at the beginning. But you know what? If you're still listening, I want you to be sure that you've heard this, and I'll probably end it again just one more time to make sure that nobody has missed this opportunity, because the Shee family, for example, we give them heartfelt thanks for what they've done. The Shee family has been one of the most generous and community-focused families in St. Johns County. And through their work with the Tringali Barn, which is a place where the premier weddings and all of those can happen, and it's a venue, and it's the leadership of Chris Shee, who is the one who's been doing this on behalf of the Shee family. And the family continues to support, which is really so significant, and uplift countless local causes. That's what they do. They help these causes just like we're talking today. Their commitment to giving back makes a lasting impact, and we are truly, truly, truly grateful for they do this for our community. Thank you, the Shee family, and you make St. Johns County much stronger. And then the DJ Clam Shack here in St. Augustine. I went there this past weekend and had one of the lobsters there, and it's so good that I wish I'd come back every day, but I can't eat that much. You know, it's that kind of thing. But it's craving fresh, flavorful seafood in the heart of historic St. Augustine. We're right here. We're right here. But you know what? Come to DJ's Clam Shack at 25 Hippolytus Street, where Northeast meets Key West. I like both places. I like the Florida Keys. I like St. Augustine, and I like the food that they have. But what they've done is this has been rooted in New England tradition. That's why it's so good. It's just so good. DJ serves up lobster rolls. That's what I had. Fried clams, conch fritters, and more, made fresh with the highest quality ingredients at prices you'll love. They're open from Tuesday through Sunday from 11 to 9. And it's the perfect spot to grab a bite. It's not very far. If you just stroll down and you go on Hippolytus Street as you're heading towards other places right across from a parking lot, and you stroll down the old streets, you get to be part of what St. Augustine's all about, and you taste one of the best seafood experiences in this country. Not only that, but it certainly, it's the best that I've had in a long time of the lobster there. It was so good. So anyway, thank you all both for both doing it, the Shee family and DJ Clam Shacks. I appreciate you. I appreciate that you're being sponsors here, and I hope that you as people get a chance to go to both places. Go to Tringali and have a venue, and go to the DJ's Clam Shack, and you'll enjoy that food. So that's where we are. So I missed it at the beginning, but I'm not missing it anymore.
No, we definitely don't want to do that.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, so that's where it goes. And it's all true. I mean, the good news is that I would not have taken anybody that didn't believe in God. I just would not. It would not. And these are people that are very strong in their relationship with God, and they make these things much better. And that's where it is with you. That's how we became friends
Yep.
already. And
Yep.
and we do it in ways sometimes months apart and years apart, even in this particular time, but we still know each other.
We do.
And we could be here talking just like we would regularly at any time.
You know,
So-
the one thing, Rick, that I want to thank you for is you include me in your messages, and they mean a lot to me because in what we do, we're constantly giving, and we're constantly giving, and sometimes we forget that we have to renew ourselves. So your messages are impactful. They're appreciated, and very often I share with our team, and a number of the times. So when we give out food, we also share God's message, and I have used your verses very often.
poems, the
Yep,
poems.
yep. Because it it just in a very succinct way sends the right message to our people, and that's often what they're looking for.
Well, I'm
So I
great.
thank you for that.
Well, just thank God for that because I can't write like that. So you got to understand that doesn't come from me.
But you're faithful.
Yeah, well, God knows those answers. So I'm grateful for that too. So as we are going forward here, I want to talk a little bit more about some of the other photos that we have
Yep.
that have some of the other people there and that. Tell me about this one as well. Where is this?
So this particular one, we have a number of folks there that are coming in. We have a relationship with an organization called Chandler's Closet, and they bring in a tractor, not a tractor trailer, a very large pool container full of clothing. And every time they come in, last month they gave out 2,000 pieces of clothing, and they're lightly used, but they're in great shape. So folks come in not only to get food, but they also come in to get clothing. We also have a number of other organization partners that are medical to be able to provide free medical support. So that particular one is folks not only coming for the food, but also for additional benefits that we provide.
Well, I saw on some of the photos that there was some large amounts of things that were coming out of a truck, and I think we have that one too that we can take a look at, and you can kind of assist me in understanding how that works out because I think you have a truck yourself now.
We do.
And that's okay. Well, that's your van.
Yep.
And that's the one that I found sitting here in the parking lot. So I thought, I ought to make sure that one's brought out because it's also got on it your organization.
Yep.
So tell us what the name of your organization is if I wanted to look at it online and be able to find out because I know it has a .org on it as well. So
yes, you look under 3grainsofrice.org, and you'll be able to go on our website, be able to see a little bit about my story, why I do what I do, and some of our partners, photos and so forth that we have done, and provide you with an opportunity to be able to join us. Así que hay una oportunidad ahí cuando la puede buscar nosotros, 3grainsofrice.org. Si la busca ahí, vas a encontrarnos nosotros, no solamente la ayuda que te podemos dar, pero la ayuda que nos puedes dar nosotros. So it's not only the opportunities for us to bless you, but the opportunity for you to bless us. And in blessing us, we bless our our community. The other thing that I think is important, Rick, is to realize that we all can help. Prayers are powerful.
Without a doubt.
You and I were talking that there are times there when we sit there and I said to myself, oh my Lord, we had such a great day. We gave all the food away. So you celebrate for a few minutes, and about 5 minutes you said, oh, where am I going to get the next amount of food? Where's the money going to come from? And God, it just, you see miracles. You know, we received a call one day when I'm sitting there from a couple that said, "Hey, you know, I heard what you guys are doing and so forth, and we can you guys use $2,000?" And I said, "Absolutely, we can use $2,000." And when do you need it? Right now. So so we were able to do so. I mean, I can tell you the story of a truck that broke down, and it was going to cost $5,000 to replace the motor. Didn't have the money, and you know, I believe that if you were going to have a relationship with God, is a relationship is real. So I'm sitting there saying, all right, what are we going to do about this? Uh, you know, we don't have the money. We have this issue about within 2 hours, and this is the honest truth. Within 2 hours, somebody called, couple called and said, hey, I heard about your mission and so forth. We have an F-150 truck that we don't use. Do you think you guys can use it? And I said, absolutely. So the next day, I had a project at San Agustin that I needed to move everything. And I said, when can I pick it up? He said, well, you can pick it up now. I said, I'll be there within an hour.
Wow.
So those are the miracles that God provides. And not, and, you know, again, the beauty of being in the mission field is you're there in the front lines and things are happening very quickly and they happen before you even know it. And it teaches you not to rely on yourself, but to teach you to rely on the Holy Spirit and the power of God. And that's what is. If there's anything, you know, my heart hurts for people that don't reach out to our community or do not exercise what I would call the mission field. And again, the mission field is not thousands of miles away. The mission field is where we are right here and now, whether or not you're in Publix or any place else. When you are part of the mission field, you see miracles. You see miracles every day. And the one thing I've learned is God will never let you down. You know, even when I'm starting to get worried about, oh my Lord, what am I going to do? There's no food. You know, we have some shortcomings or whatever. Then I look at myself, you know what? You're relying on yourself. Yep. This is about you. It's about your ego. You need to go ahead and turn it around. And, you know, I am without question a believer that if God places in your heart a ministry, a mission field, He will guide you, shepherd you, and provide everything you need.
Could you say that again in Spanish for me?
Sí. Una cosa que hemos estado hablando aquí es lo que pasa cuando estamos en una misión. Cuando uno trabaja en una misión, uno ve cosas que no puede ni creer, porque cuando tenemos problemas, como estuvimos hablando aquí, uno de los camiones se rompió y iba a costar como $5,000 y no sabían lo que íbamos a hacer. Y me puse ahí y le dije a Dios, oye, ¿qué es lo que vamos a hacer aquí? Y lo que pasó fue que una familia que venía llamó y dice, tenemos este camión, un F-150, y no tan podemos usar. ¿Y cuándo la puedo coger? La puede coger ahora. Pero eso los vemos todos los días. Y, you know, la misión no está en miles de millas de aquí. Está donde estamos aquí, en Publix, donde estamos. Ahí está. Y la ayuda está ahí. Cuando uno se mete a trabajar con Dios, Él nunca te va a dejar. Y tú vas a ver lo que Él hace. Y lo que hace y cambia. Ayer puede que sea una cosa que no podía que se pudiera hacer, pero con Él todo cambia. Así que entrando en la misión, una cosa grandísima y you know, yo le pido que lo piense si no está envuelto. Si no, venga para acá y vamos a trabajar juntos. So, you know, the mission field is what it's all about.
Well, I want you to tell me a little bit about this one person that came in with you from New Orleans, and and you were just talking
Yep.
about what God was doing and gave him some ideas of that, not for him personally. What happened?
So, I mean, this individual, what we have found is a lot of the folks that come in to be with us from missions very often are seeking, searching, and hurting. And this particular individual was going through a very difficult time, um, and I was not aware of it. But yet, the message, the discussions we have there and throughout, um, before he left, he said, "I just want to thank you for what you did." And I said, "Well, I haven't done anything." He said, "Oh, yes, you have. This message that you gave impacted my life, and he's gonna change me in not only taking care of my kids and being a single dad and so forth." Um, so from my perspective, all I was doing is sharing the voice that God placed in my heart. I had no idea that there was a need there through that. I mean, I can tell you the story also, Rick, of a young lady. By the time she was 12, 14 years old, she was a drug dealer, a drug addict, had overdosed, and tried to commit suicide multiple times. And we talked about it, and she came to Jacksonville. I had the opportunity to meet her and her mom, and I talked to her about faith and talked to her about goals and dreams and so forth. And she would come push back and say, "You have no idea what I've had to do to be able to pay for my drugs." And so we talked about what happened yesterday is gone. We're not, yesterday is gone. Let's focus on today. So, so I asked her, I said, "So if you had a dream, what would that dream be?" She said, "Well, if I had a dream, I would love to be able to start a little business to do nails." And so I said, "Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to finance your business if you promise you stay in school and you stay away from drugs." That little girl today is her business doing real well. She graduated from school, and her dream right now, the next step, is to go to law school.
Wow.
That is transformation, but that transformation cannot take place without the power of the Holy Spirit, the power of God. I mean, I can tell you multiple stories. Single moms that were living in a car with a child today. She's married, has 3 kids, and her husband have 5 businesses together.
Yeah.
It is possible. So I don't know what you may be going through in your life. I don't know what challenge you may be facing, but I will tell you this: never ever give up. And I will tell you to have faith in He who created all. Because if God was able to create this world, and He created you and created you with a purpose, He created you with a mission to do that, keep on fighting the fight, and you will see a dawn coming. Just like the young ladies that we've talked about. Así que lo que estoy diciendo aquí es muy importante. Yo no sé qué problemas ustedes pueda que tengan en su vida ahora. Pero le digo esto, que nunca pare de seguir fajando. Nunca pare de seguir caminando. Nunca pare de pensar que adentro de ti hay una misión que Dios te ha dado para cambiar el mundo. Y si sigue haciendo eso, un día esto vas a mirar atrás y vas a decir, esa experiencia que tuve, yo la voy a usar para cambiar la vida de otro. So part of it is, it's not only not giving up, but realizing that every experience has value. The only time an experience has no value is if we keep it to ourselves and not share it. We have people going through the same challenges, the same pains throughout the world, and utilizing those experiences, you will save life. You will enhance life. You will change all the way through there. So whatever you're going through in life, never give up and do not look back and allow the past to govern your future. realize that the past is a foundation for your mission and to fulfill God's purpose and mission.
And again, that's very much where we reach it.
Right.
That's part of the reflection that we have. You just discussed an entire reflection of what you can do no matter how hard it seems.
Yep.
It's not about that. It's about knowing God.
Yep.
And once you get that understanding and you say, I turn it over to you, God, I turn over my freedom, my will, and all of these things that go all together. I don't need it. You gave it to me, and I'll give it back because
Right.
I trust you. And once I trust you, it may not seem easy. It's not always easy. You may have gone
Right.
over a mountain that was so hard to climb.
Yep.
But he gets you on the other side, and you see exactly where it's at. And you made it through a place that you never would have seen.
Yep.
And that's how it is with God. And it's so strong and so powerful that until you understand that, you will never be able to do it. You have to understand why God has made you who you are and why you are here on this earth so that you can be with each other and share the love that he gives you.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's it. God is love. And therefore, that's what we're missing. That's what we're missing today. Where is your love with people? Where is your love with people? Whether you're a party member of one party or another party, there should be together. There is not that issue. So what if you disagree? Good. Maybe somebody is going to say, well, wait a minute. You're not right and he's not right, or she's not right and her's not right. But maybe together they make a one solid thing and it becomes one. And that's all it has to be, is become one. And that's what God does with us. He wants us to be part of him, and to be part of him and to let him be in you and you in him. And that's really the easiest answer that I can give you.
100%.
So there we go.
Yep.
And so as we're finishing up today,
Yep.
I want to kind of go over one last couple things. First of all, I want to be sure that you understand that the Shee family and DJ Clam Shacks are a place to go here in St. Augustine, and to be with them and to thank them for what they do, because they do the things that will be great for you. We also want to remember that if you look at 3grainsofrice.org, you'll be able to find more information that you have done.
Yep.
And we'll end up with this photo again one last time, the photo that shows that van that you have people riding in.
Yep.
And you're there in the place where it is so difficult for people to live, that's got drugs and all of the other things there. Clean it out with God. God will clean out all of that. And therefore it becomes a place of eternity. And that's where we are. So thank you so much for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
It's great. And I hope that people to finish a little bit in Spanish about goodbye.
Entonces le damos las gracias porque nos ha invitado aquí, y esta cada semana esta oportunidad está aquí, pero le doy las gracias a ustedes por oír, y le pido que si tienen la oportunidad, chequea a nosotros, mira lo que estamos haciendo, y nos puede llamar, y lo que podemos hacer lo vamos a hacer para ayudarte y también para guiarte. Así que nunca pares de fajar, nunca pares de pensar que Dios tiene una oportunidad para ti y te va a cambiar tu vida.
Well, you will see Sunday Reflections the next time again, and you can watch it on YouTube, 904 Now app,
Yep.
or 904 app on Facebook. So if you want to see it, what's going on and where it's been, just understand we are live today, and we want you to be live tomorrow. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
All
Thank you again.
Thank you,
Great
sir.
to see you.
Yeah,
Yes,
God
sir.
bless.
All right.